This is Good Morning Suncoast. We're here for you.
Good morning, everyone. Glad to have you with us on this Tuesday. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Jacqueline Matter.
I'm Ray Collins. First day of August, and you feeling better?
I am feeling a little bit better than I was yesterday. A little scratchy voice, but you guys were busy here yesterday.
Yes. Well, I can't take any credit. John Scalzi was a whirling dervish in the Weather Center. Things got crazy about 6:30 or 7. Suddenly, Emily came into our lives, John.
I slept well yesterday.
I bet you did, yeah.
Yeah, you know, we came into work in the morning, and the Hurricane Center gave us a 40% chance of seeing a storm develop out in Gulf waters. It was pretty close to shore, so it didn't have much time, and indeed, it took full advantage of that time. By 6 a.m., we had a tropical storm warning, and by 7 a.m., we had a tropical storm watch, and by 7 a.m., a tropical storm warning, and shortly thereafter, we had a landfalling tropical storm in Manatee County. That's impressive. That's fast. And you know, it just goes to show that it's an exercise, really, what we had, an exercise in preparedness, because these Gulf systems that come into our basin can develop very rapidly. Land is so close by. So here we are, heading toward about 75% of the hurricane season still left. And, you know, we just get a little reminder to get all of our emergency preparedness plans into action. Let's take a look at the satellite or the radar map, and you can see a few scattered showers still left over, mostly in Charlotte County, but the rain chance this morning at about 20%. We'll have the complete forecast details coming up for you in just a moment.
All right, talk to you soon. Thank you, John. Right now in Manatee County, nothing much to speak of. 301, a little bit of slowdown there as it crosses over 15th Street East, farther south in Sarasota County. The only blip we see is at the 41-301 split. Nothing much to speak of. I just passed there, didn't see a thing. And farther south, no problems at 502 on your Tuesday morning.
Our top story this morning, people across the Suncoast are feeling the effects from Tropical Storm Emily, and one apartment building in Bradenton saw severe roof and ceiling damage.
Our Rick Adams has a closer look.
Well, this storm affected 4 apartment buildings here. Back there is one of the buildings that was damaged. This has caused some major headaches for quite a few folks around here. This is what the inside of Jonas Lammy's Bradenton apartment looks like. Heavy wind and rain from Tropical Storm Emily damaged the roofs and ceilings of the buildings, including the second floor apartment where Lammy stays with his family.
The water is loose. And then he can down and they flow.
Lammy tells us his mother did suffer minor injuries. No other injuries were reported. The 4 buildings damaged were in the process of being re-roofed. Work crews spent their Monday afternoon putting up blue tarps to prevent further damage and drying out the units.
We've got 3 units that had some of their ceiling or part of their ceiling come down in the unit. We also have the other units are on the second floors. All were affected.
Thomas Buck has lived at the Oakmead Apartments with his wife and 4 children for a year. Although his first floor apartment wasn't damaged, he's upset that this happened to a lot of his neighbors.
I'm sad. They lost a lot of property, a lot of personal items, and you know it's low-income housing, and some of them couldn't afford renter's insurance, so all their personal property that got damaged, how are they going to get reimbursed for that?
It's a problem Buck says could have been avoided because the contractor was working on many buildings at once instead of just focusing on one building.
As far as doing one building at a time, that's mainly what our concern was, and it ended up being catastrophic.
The Red Cross was on scene helping those folks who were affected. And Bradenton's fire marshal says the repairs to these buildings should be finished within the next couple of days. Reporting from Bradenton, I'm Rick Adams, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
And the storm also hit other parts of the city of Bradenton as well. Northwest Bradenton and parts of Palmetto under a tornado warning for a short time yesterday. Hundreds of homes were without power as trees and branches hit lines and other FPL equipment in the area. FPL says there were more than 600 people without power at one point. Geraldson's Farm Market had their metal roof peeled back by the gusts, and also nearby Orban's Nursery watched their 40-year-old warehouse collapse as the massive roof was lifted off the building before crashing back down in a different position.
And that storm also made landfall on Anna Maria Island, bringing heavy rain and strong winds to the area. Emily also leaving behind flooded roadways and scattered debris. The Manatee County Sheriff taking to Twitter, warning residents to avoid the island, but for those already there, they had to make their way through the flooded streets.
We saw a couple cars that were actually stuck. We had breakfast farther down on the island today, and one of the parking lots, 2 or 3 feet of water, and there were a couple of cars that were stuck there.
Some businesses and residents lost power off and on all day long, but that has since been fully restored.
In Sarasota, the storm also caused some issues along the bayfront. There was 3 boats there, and then one sunk, and then there was 2. This fellow came along on his bike and pedaled out to the shoreline, then tried to go out to a small sailboat to bail out water from his sailboat. Once the weather calmed down, others came out to inspect the conditions. Why'd you come out today?
Oh, I'm an adventurer. I'm for danger. I come out here to see what's going on down here.
In the end, a lot of wind and rain, but no serious damage reported along Sarasota's bayfront.
More south in the city of Venice, officials say there was no severe damage or flooding. They did say the storm served as a good test run for their emergency response plans. The South Jetty Park walkway was closed due to waves crashing over the jetty, and as well as downtown fountains at Sharkey's on the pier. The storm largely caught them by surprise, and they had to secure furniture quickly as the winds began to pick up.
We're always trying to be prepared for this time of year for hurricane season, so we start the season like that, but there's always something we miss, and this is a good reminder to always be ready.
The South Jetty walkway is now reopened to the public this morning.
An emergency rescue in Tampa Bay just before Tropical Storm Emily made landfall yesterday morning. 2 brothers from Tampa were fishing aboard a 17-foot boat when their engine stopped and the boat began taking on water. It drifted and hit a range light. The men called for help as the boat sank. A crew from St. Petersburg arrived in 20 minutes to rescue the brothers. The fishermen were taken to the station without injuries. Plus, back in this area, flooding caused a dire situation at an animal rescue center in Manatee County. Nate's Honor Animal Rescue off Lorraine Road in eastern Manatee County is flooded. The rain drenched the grounds and its animals in danger. Staff members were still looking for foster parents or adopters to get the animals out of the shelter until the flooding subsides.
We try our best to raise our kids to help the community as much as possible, and community came first for us. Being able to help animals, definitely a close second. So it's important that you're active in your community, you're helping your local community, and you're doing everything you can to help save lives.
The shelter is asking for anyone who can help to stop by or email them at info@honoranimalrescue.org.
And amidst the danger and flooding, Sarasota County says they will no longer be handing out sandbags today. The county is announcing the plans are changed after reviewing Tuesday's expected rainfall and consulting with the National Weather Service. And also remember, you can get instant alerts on Tropical Storm Emily and all severe weather alerts delivered straight to your phone right in front of your hands. All you have to do is download our My Suncoast app. You'll get important news updates, weather forecasts, and traffic alerts on the go.
It's 5:08 now. New details on a deadly shooting in Sarasota where police say a man accidentally shot his sister and he's now facing a manslaughter charge. Police were called to a house on Arlington Street Sunday afternoon. They say 20-year-old Letitia Cortez was at the kitchen table when her brother, 19-year-old Daniel Cortez Reyes, pulled out a semi-automatic handgun. He told investigators he pulled out the magazine, put it back in, and it went off. A single round struck his sister. She was taken to the hospital where she later died.
The Charlotte County Sheriff's Office is cracking down on suspects involved in different crimes. Deputies recently conducted a field interview which led to the closure of several car burglaries in the Deep Creek area. The focused patrol on Thursday and Friday resulted in 8 arrests for different charges. 3 men were arrested with possession of marijuana and drug paraphernalia. 1 woman was charged with tampering with evidence, and 1 convicted felon was charged with burglary. And speaking of Charlotte County, deputies also responded to calls for a suspicious vehicle in Punta Gorda. Deputies noticed the door of a nearby home was standing open. That's where they found Edward Hilton in the home's backyard. He ran away, swimming across a nearby pond. He then barricaded himself in a shed where deputies found him. The suspicious vehicle was identified as Hilton's. He was arrested for burglary, theft, and violation of probation.
Well, all lanes on University Parkway's diverging Diamond interchange are now officially open. The traffic pattern began operating in May with 10 lanes. The final 2 officially opened yesterday. FDOT says this is the largest interchange of its kind in the country. A landscaping project at the interchange will begin next year. The project cost $75 million.
The Tampa Bay Lightning players and staff are honoring a young fan from right here in Sarasota. Sarasota High School senior Tony Colton passed away Sunday after his 7-year battle with cancer. Colton was a lifelong Lightning fan, even getting the chance to play with some members of the team. Winger Ryan Callahan tweeted, "Tony was a special kid. You will be greatly missed." And center Tyler Johnson posted, "Tony was a true inspiration and friend. The amount of courage you showed is incredible." So certainly a sad situation there.
Sad story, but so nice that those pro athletes took the time to recognize the quality of this young man.
Yes, definitely.
Right. Absolutely right. We have some changing weather coming up. We'll talk about that on another note in just a moment.
All right, thank you, John. Still ahead, we'll tell you how the Lakewood Ranch Digital Photography Club is bringing a sense of community to its members in today's place we call home.
And later in the hour, the Olympics are coming back to the U.S. We'll tell you when and where at 5:36.
We've all heard how military veterans adjusting to the civilian world may have certain issues.
30. 70.
If only everyone had this issue. No matter what challenge they face, Easter Seals is here for America's veterans.
Since 1928, Karastan has been setting the standard in carpets and rugs, producing non-allergenic wools that won't promote the growth of bacteria or dust mites like other carpets will. Karastan wools actively remove contaminants from the indoor air, making your home healthier. And there are many colors and patterns and textures to choose from. Come see for yourself.
So many possibilities worth exploring. Minnesota Flooring.
Let me introduce you to the ultimate Florida window. Do you feel safer with this or this? You'll be proud too.
Going on now. For every 2 windows you buy, get 1 more free. Call today.
So you've decided to go to college. That's cool. So pop quiz. Which is a better way to earn your degree? Commute to college and fill your gas tank, get stuck in traffic, drive in bad weather, try to find a parking space, walk a half-mile to class, or learn online at Independence University. In the park on a bench, on the beach on a towel, or on your couch with your kid, your campus is wherever you want it to be. You don't go to college. College goes to you. That's independence. That's Independence University. You schedule classes around your schedule, and all your supplies, including a brand new laptop and tablet, are included with tuition. At Independence U, you'll learn from professional instructors with real work experience. You'll get personal support in school and employment assistance when you graduate. Get your degree, but keep your life. That's independence. That's Independence University. So if you're really smart, you'd call now.
Call 1-800-319-0237.
Independence U, for an independent you.
Call 1-800-319-0237.
Now, the official Suncoast weather with ABC7 meteorologist John Scalzi.
So we're looking at air temperatures outside that are hovering in the mid-70s right now with a dew point of 72. North-northeast wind coming in at about 5. Now, that northeast wind is kind of important to the forecast today. You'll see why in just a moment. That'll be shifting a little bit later on this afternoon, which is also kind of important to the forecast down the road. Our temperatures are generally uniform across the region with 74 Wauchula, 73 Arcadia, 74 Myakka, Parrish, Bradenton. Getting closer to the coast, 77 Longboat Key, 76 in Venice, and 76 degrees in Inglewood. So we don't have a whole lot to worry about now with Emily. Emily has left Florida on a trek that'll take it out into the open waters of the Atlantic, where it will really bother no one. There may be some slight regeneration with this system. It does look like it's a little bit better formed at this hour than it was a couple hours ago when it was still over land. But even if it does, it'll be in the open waters where it bothers no one, and eventually it will just fade out in those open waters of the Atlantic. Now, we have some drier air that's kind of filtered down, and it's reducing rain chances across the northern and central part of the state of Florida. But we still have some ongoing showers left in the wake of the system down to the south around Fort Myers. Fort Myers got a pretty good hit from this storm. We'll watch today a chance of seeing some of those shore storms work their way on shore during the morning hours, but it's a slight chance, probably about a 10% chance or something like that. As we head into the afternoon, we're only going to get another maybe 20% chance of rainfall. Total 30% in the late afternoon as we get the maximum daytime heating. That's about it today. So less than average rain chance. You can see a few of those scattered showers right now around the mouth of Charlotte Harbor. That's why we're putting in that 10% chance of a morning rain. But you can see all of the rain-free conditions in the northern and north central part of the state. That's because of the drier air that is filtered southward. Got a good amount of rainfall yesterday, no doubt about that. Bradenton had some unofficial reports of 6-inch rainfalls, but certainly 4-inch rainfalls, not out of the ordinary, and a lot of places saw some 4- and 3-inch rainfalls. That really brought our year-to-date total pretty close to the average. We're about a little more than a half an inch below the average for the entire year, which is pretty much average. You're always a little above or below the average. And as far as the rainy season goes, it's been pretty wet, so pretty good there. Now, as far as tropical storm problems across Florida or other parts of the northeastern coast, you're not going to see much today. Just some standard thunderstorm possibilities, and even that, it's a pretty low chance of that as well. There's the drier air indicated by this tan colorization, and that has filtered down right behind the circulation of Emily as it departs the state of Florida. Now, a little bit later on, what we'll notice is as Emily departs and high pressure begins to build in from the west, we'll start to see a more southwesterly wind flow. With that southwesterly wind flow that develops, humid air will return to our forecast, and I think by probably as early as tomorrow, our rain chances are going to start to go up again, probably to maybe even double what they are today. So a little brief period of time to dry out before the rain chances return. We'll look for about a 30% chance of rainfall today, going up to about a 50 to 60% chance as we head into the next several days. And so far, it looks like the weekend will be pretty average with those afternoon showers and thunderstorms. Back to you.
All right, thank you so much, John. Taking a look at traffic, if you're heading into downtown Bradenton, there is some congestion on the DeSoto Bridge if you're heading throughout that area. Also 301 heading northbound. I-75 looking good as we head into Sarasota County. There is some slowdowns on Bee Ridge Road and Clark Road. Also 41 heading southbound as you pass by the Stickney Point Bridge. Seeing some more congestion on the roadways. But in South County, pretty quiet, just a few extra cars on the roadway as you're heading throughout Business 41 in Venice. 5:18 this morning, and a group here on the Suncoast finds joy and a sense of purpose, all thanks to the Lakewood Ranch Digital Photography Club.
Our Linda Carson has more on why this club helps make our area a place we call home.
Many members say the Lakewood Ranch Digital Photography Club is one of the main things that makes life here on the Suncoast great.
It started as 5 people around a table sharing just the pictures over about 10 years ago, and it's now moved to almost 300 photographers who are avid photographers. We take total beginners right through to professionals.
The club focuses on education. There's a major speaker at each meeting.
Can be a national speaker. We've had people like Scott Kelby, who's a god in photography. You get people who are local photographers as well. And we try to teach people different techniques.
They also hold monthly photography competitions and help out in the community.
We do volunteer work at the Manatee Pet Shelter. So those photos then are used on their website to show the public nicer photos of the dogs that are available for adoption.
And they go on photography field trips.
We've been to Selby Garden. That's a favorite place for macro photographers and our flowers and things like that. We've been to the beach. We've done beach photography. We've been to Ybor City several times. We've been up to Florida Polytech.
They even visited ABC7. Strong friendships develop among members and skills grow by leaps and bounds.
Some of our members who came to us as beginners now are doing art shows and craft shows and things like that. Some people have become professional photographers, wedding photographers. Some people have set up little studios in their home and pursued more of the portrait photography.
And this new passion can be life-changing. Tom spent 25 years as a ship's captain.
I retired a couple years ago in August, and that Christmas I bought myself a digital camera and got involved in photography. Joined the club, and it's really been a wonderful experience.
Bill Mills also joined the club after retirement.
I've actually transformed my life. I now do professional photography.
And it can help make this a great place to call home.
I love Sarasota to begin with, but really being involved with the club and Lakewood Ranch, it has become a better place for home.
The Lakewood Ranch Digital Photography Club welcomes new members. They meet every third Thursday, and for more information, you can go to their Facebook page or their website. Linda Carson, ABC7, your Suncoast News.
You know, I think I've actually seen them out and about. I was in downtown Sarasota one morning doing a story, and I saw this group of people taking pictures.
Yeah.
I asked them what they were doing, and they said they were part of a photography club. So that might have been just them.
They're very serious. I'm an amateur photographer. I love pictures, but these guys are serious. But
I know.
It's very poetic. Find your passion, find friends who like it also, and life improves.
There you go.
All right. Up next on Good Morning Suncoast, we'll tell you about a man who created an exercise bike that lets you watch Netflix only when you're pedaling.
And coming up at 5:30, new backlash as airlines are trying to make their seat sizes smaller and smaller. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
During the past 10 years, Tidewell Hospice volunteers have provided more than 1 million hours of service. They sit with patients, giving caregivers a break. They work in offices. They take their furry friends on pet therapy visits. They even clown around. Every task performed by a volunteer makes a difference in the lives of our patients and their families. Join Tidewell's volunteer team. They're truly 1 in a million. Tidewell Hospice. It's more than you think.
Are you Goodwill?
Yes, because when I donate
or shop at Goodwill,
I am creating a job. I am Goodwill, yeah, yeah.
Who else has been taking your prescriptions? Keep your medicine and your family safe and secure. Mind Your Meds. To learn how we can help, visit the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids at drugfree.org.
I love taking care of my mom. It wasn't easy at first. She learned how to better communicate her needs.
And you learned how to not ignore yours.
I discovered how to make healthier meals.
And I discovered how much I enjoyed them.
Becoming a caregiver is a learning experience for everyone. Find articles, tips, and tools from experts and others who have been in your place. The Caregiving Resource Center at aarp.org/caregiving.
Keep up with your investments and market trends by watching the ABC7 Stock Report. Get a recap of all the day's stock market activity. Be sure to watch your Suncoast News at 6 for the ABC7 Stock Report, sponsored by Sunset Cadillac.
Our live camera is along the Bradenton Riverwalk this morning before dawn breaks. That'll become a very pretty shot as the morning progresses, and hope to show you also another picture we have recently from the top of a brand new vantage point. We might show that to you later in the morning from the top of the Weston.
That's right. And just a reminder, if you have any pictures or video that you like to see on the show here on Good Morning Suncoast, make sure to send them to us. We'd love to see some of those sunrises, some of those pictures that you're out doing. And you can also stay up to date with what we're doing right here on Good Morning Suncoast by checking out our Facebook pages right there.
All right, welcome back. 5:24 on a Tuesday morning.
HBO's widely popular Game of Thrones series is just one of the latest victims of a cybercrime.
ABC's Candace Gibson and Diane Macedo have details in this morning's Tech Bites.
In today's Tech Bites, HBO is facing a major cyber attack.
Hackers bragged about stealing HBO programming, including written material from the upcoming episode of Game of Thrones.
They say they've also posted full episodes of other shows, and they're threatening to release more.
The Zenbo home robot is coming to America.
It does a little bit of everything, from entertaining the kids to helping the elderly and controlling home appliances. Price tag, $600.
Better do laundry for that price as well. An Irishman has created a stationary bike hack that feeds your Netflix habit.
Psychflix doesn't allow Netflix to play unless your legs are moving. The bike isn't for sale, but you can watch Kenny Schmidt's Instructables video to learn how to make one.
Fair warning, unless you're a tech geek, don't bother.
So not the easiest of instructions.
Exactly, so keep on riding.
Those are your Tech Bites.
Have a good day.
Tech Bites, brought to you by Sherwin-Williams.
How'd we rethink light yogurt? Kicked out artificial sweeteners, added real fruit, and made it 90 calories. New Light and Fit Greek non-fat yogurt with 0 artificial sweeteners. You'll go from to wow.
Get a smartphone, tablet, or laptop starting at just $19.99 a week, all without credit. Only at Rent-A-Center.
I witnessed him have 2 heart attacks in ICU. He went through seizures.
We'd much rather have Aaron like this than dead. A lot of parents don't have that luxury.
He can't talk. He can't walk. This is a condition Aaron will live with for the rest of his life because he abused prescription pills.
Mind your meds. Learn more from the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
My name is Haley. I have Fragile X syndrome. I work with Chartwells at Einstein's and FAU. I like being up front and interacting with students. The students are very nice and very hungry. Having a job is a big ticket for independence.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to abilitieswork.employflorida.com.
Ever since I can remember, I've been intrigued by industrial design and the optimization.
Wait, that's passion? Ever since I can remember, my passion has been industrial design. We need 3D printers for Miss Adams' engineering program so that we are ready to solve 21st century challenges.
Impressive. Think It Up is a new initiative to support student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classroom today? Think It Up.
I am a veteran. My victory was finding the strength to be a champion.
My victory is having a job I can be proud of.
At DAV, we help veterans get the benefits they've earned.
My victory was finishing my education.
My victory was getting help to put our lives back together.
DAV provides veterans with a lifetime of support.
My victory is being there for my family.
Help us support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
Here we go. We're gonna go out there in the rain. We're gonna get wet. All right, here we go. Okay, quick. Oh yeah, yes. So much fun. Mwah. So wet.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate. It's worn like a badge of honor with good reason, because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
Start your day with a new Good Morning Suncoast team. Weekdays starting at 5 a.m. on ABC 7. Your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
This half hour on Good Morning Suncoast, just 11 days on the job and out the door. The latest on a now former White House Communications Director.
Plus, an escaped inmate still on the run this morning after breaking out of jail, all with the help of peanut butter.
And be careful who you complain to during a long flight delay. We'll tell you about a passenger carrying a baby who got punched in the face. Those stories and more now on Good Morning Suncoast.
Live from the ABC 7 studios, this is Good Morning Suncoast. We're here for you.
A more peaceful shot this morning as you awaken on this Tuesday. 24 hours ago, we had a storm brewing. Today, quieter. 5:30 on this Tuesday morning. Glad you're with us. Welcome back. I'm Ray Collins.
And I'm Jacqueline Matter. Certainly glad to see some of that peace and calmness out there, considering yesterday was pretty rough.
You sat out the right day, I'll tell you.
Well, thank you.
Well, it worked out well for you. Poor John, though, he was scrambling.
Oh, yeah.
It was a busy day, absolutely.
Yeah.
We had, it could have been a whole lot worse. If that storm had sat out in Gulf waters for a couple of days, we could have been dealing with a whole different ball of wax.
Right.
But, we got, I guess, a little lucky there. But those showers and thunderstorms are kind of going to be at a minimum today. We have some drier air that's filtered in back behind the departing, Emily, and that's going to leave us with some decent conditions. Let's go to the maps. We have some sunshine in store for you today. That ball of cloud that you see is part of the circulation around Emily, departing out into the open Atlantic, leaving us with about a 30% chance of showers today. That's about it. Daytime highs will top out around 90. Complete forecast in a minute.
All right, talk to you soon. Suncoast Road checking pretty clear right now. First off, there's the scene in Manatee County. No problems to speak of. Farther south, a couple blips there, one at the 41-301 split, nothing much, and also 75 northbound as you approach Clark Road. And then farther south, not much at 532 on your Tuesday morning.
Topping our news this half hour, another top Trump administration official is out of a job this morning.
After 11 days in the position, Communications Director Anthony Scaramucci resigned. Also, new information about that meeting that President Trump's son had with a Russian lawyer. ABC's Kenneth Moten has details from Washington.
West Wing chaos. The Trump White House now dealing with the ousting of Communications Director Anthony Scaramucci.
I love the president.
The wealthy Wall Street financier known as the Mooch, lasting just 11 days. And they were rocky. Day one, bad blood between Scaramucci and now ex-Chief of Staff Reince Priebus. Then there was the profanity-laced tirade to a reporter, calling Priebus an expletive paranoid schizophrenic.
The president certainly felt that Anthony's comments were inappropriate for a person in that position.
President Trump, no stranger to colorful language himself, hoping to turn the page with this new chief of staff, former Homeland Security Secretary John Kelly.
I predict that General Kelly will go down in terms of the position of chief of staff, one of the great ever.
Kelly's next crisis may be a new revelation regarding Don Jr.'s meeting with a Russian lawyer during the 2016 campaign. First reported by the Washington Post, confirmed by ABC News, sources say President Trump personally dictated a misleading statement his son gave in response to the meeting, something the Trump team denied last month.
The president didn't sign off on anything. He was coming back from the G20. The president wasn't involved in that.
Don Jr.'s original statement said the meeting was not a campaign issue at the time. We now know the president's son took the sit-down because he thought he would receive damaging information about Hillary Clinton. Don Jr.'s attorney had no comment on this new report, but the president's legal team says it's not true and misinformed. Kenneth Moten, ABC News, Washington.
CNN has learned the new White House Chief of Staff John Kelly was so angry over the firing of former FBI Director James Comey back in May that he considered resigning himself. Kelly, who was then Homeland Security Secretary, called Comey on the day of the firing. Two sources say Kelly told Comey he was considering resigning, and both say it's not clear how serious Kelly was, but one of the sources said Kelly was angry and hurt over the way Comey was treated. The White House and the Department of Homeland Security have not yet responded.
And the current Homeland Security Advisor, Tom Bossert, seems to have fallen for an email prank. The prankster in the UK sent this letter to Bossert pretending to be President Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner. The emails were shared with CNN by the email prankster. The prankster said he was surprised Bossert responded, given his expertise. White House officials acknowledged the incident and says they are taking the matter very seriously. In France, an airport worker is in trouble after punching a passenger who was holding a baby. The victim was scheduled to fly out of Nice on Saturday, but his flight was delayed for 11 hours. Well, he complained to the wrong person. An airport worker punched the passenger in the face. A bystander subdued the attacker until police arrived. The airline issued an apology for the delay, which they called a technical issue.
And speaking of airlines, there's more backlash this morning at airlines trying to make their seat size smaller, and it's now prompted possible minimum space requirements for passengers. Aircraft seats and the space between are getting smaller, and that could be considered a safety hazard. The U.S. Court of Appeals has ordered the FAA to take a closer look at the amount of space that passengers have on commercial planes. Seat widths have decreased about 1.5 inches since the early 2000s, measuring about just 17 inches. The space between seats has also decreased, going from an average of 35 inches to about 31, with some bargain airlines having just 28 inches of legroom.
It does not appear that people can get out with the smaller seats. Most recently, there was an evacuation for a burning engine in an aircraft, and it took about 5 minutes instead of 90 seconds.
Comfort is something the FAA does not look at, but they say they do consider it when testing and assessing the safe evacuation of an aircraft. They are now studying the ruling and any actions they may take to address the court's findings.
And one more aviation story. The U.S. could face a shortage of pilots in the near future. Boeing released its forecast this week. It said for airlines to meet the demand for air travel in the next 20 years, airlines in North America are going to need 117,000 new pilots. Not having enough pilots could wreak havoc on air travel. Still, pilots and their unions contend that airlines need to increase existing pilots' pay, and that would attract more people to the profession.
An update now on the tragedy at the Ohio State Fair last week. Friends and family paid their final respects to the 18-year-old student killed in that accident. Tyler Jarrell was on the fireball ride when a row of seats broke off mid-air and flew to the ground. Jarrell had enlisted with the Marine Corps less than a week before that accident. He was scheduled to begin training next summer after graduating high school. Loved ones say the teen had a positive attitude and was looking forward to serving his country.
An interesting story out of Alabama after a dozen inmates escaped from jail using peanut butter. As of Monday morning, all but one of them have been recaptured. Jail officials say the inmates broke out of the Walker County Jail in Jasper using peanut butter from jail sandwiches to change the number above an inmate's cell to a number that identifies a door leading outside the jail. It worked. The jail is offering a $500 reward for information leading to the capture of that final escapee.
An ominous forecast for planet Earth as two different studies released on Monday say the Earth's global temperature will likely rise more than 2 degrees Celsius by the end of the century. The study found that even if humans suddenly stopped burning fossil fuels, Earth will continue to heat up about 2 more degrees by the year 2100. If emissions continue for 15 years, the rise could be as much as 3 degrees. Scientists say a global temperature increase could trigger rising sea levels, mass extinctions, super droughts, increased wildfires, intense hurricanes, and even more melting of Arctic ice.
The Olympics will return to Los Angeles in 2028. LA has reached a deal with the international Olympic leaders to open the way for the Games in the summer of 2028. The pact is expected to be reviewed by the City Council later on this week. The deal would make LA a 3-time Olympic city. They hosted also in 1932 and also in 1984. This follows a vote earlier this month by the Olympic Committee to seek a deal to award the 2024 and 2028 Games. Paris is seen, by the way, as a favorite for 2024.
Some incredible video out of Canada after a couple uses their boat to help fight a grass fire without leaving the water. Lori Jane Arnott says she was relaxing on the river when she saw smoke and took this video. You can see the couple steer their boat closer to the shore before spinning it around. That water that splashed up went towards the fire and helped contain it until a fire truck appeared shortly afterwards. Luckily, no one was hurt. Meanwhile, here in Florida, wildlife officials say they'll have less money this year to help communities with bear-proof trash cans. The Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission recently announced the start of a nearly 3-month application period for local governments and others seeking Bear-Wise funding. The agency has $515,000 to match with local government funding to help residents and businesses buy bear-resistant trash cans, secure regular trash cans, and to have modified dumpsters. That's down from $825,000 last year. Despite the drop, FWC says the program should still be successful.
We won't have enough money as an agency to sponsor every single person who might want a can to have one, but we can get enough cans out there so that neighbors see it, they see that it works, and then the county see it, and they can maybe require that as part of their contracts with waste service providers.
An estimated 4,000 black bears are set to live here in Florida. A majority of the Bear-Wise money will go to communities that have enacted ordinances requiring residents and businesses to keep garbage secure from bears looking for food. And there's a new leader at the South Florida Water District. Ernie Marks has been a key player in Everglades issues. He was elevated to become the executive director of the South Florida Water Management. Marks is replacing Pete Antonassi, who will become Governor Rick Scott's top business recruiter after his final day today. Board members say the move will avoid disruptions in ongoing water projects throughout the district's 16-county region, which stretches from Orlando all the way to the Florida Keys.
And Tropical Storm Emily had many effects on the state yesterday. Look at this. In south down to Bonita Springs, now south of Fort Myers, a resident found a fish out of water. Check out this catfish on a neighborhood street down there in Lee County. Stacy Jo Dimmitt says the fish emerged after Emily dumped heavy rain across the area yesterday. I've had days like that.
I know. He's like, get me back to the water.
I feel like a fish out of water.
That looks like one of those walking catfish.
Well, it's kind of walking.
Yeah. That's one of the things with flood water. You got to be careful of what you find in those flood waters, you know.
That's true.
Snakes, rats,
nice.
broken glass.
You never know what's underneath there.
Don't let your kids play in flood water. We have across the region some drying weather today. A little chance to get out there and enjoy some sunshine. We'll talk about that in a sec.
All right, thanks, John. Still ahead, opioid addiction has cost thousands of people their lives.
Now we're getting a clearer picture of just how devastating this epidemic really is. Up next in Health Smart.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. And services.com, A-N-D, services.com.
I was always worried and scared. Mom was in pain. She wasn't going to get any better, and all the trips to the ER were painful for all of us. Then we called Tidewell Hospice, and everything changed. Now she has care in our home when she needs it, surrounded by family. We know we don't have much time left with Mom, but we decided to make the best out of that time. Tidewell Hospice, it's more than you think.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
This is important news for women who were administered chemotherapy intravenously for breast cancer and then suffered permanent hair loss. The chemotherapy drug Taxotere has been linked to permanent alopecia or permanent hair loss. Some women administered the breast cancer chemotherapy drug Taxotere have suffered from permanent hair loss on scalp, eyebrows, and eyelashes. The FDA has urged doctors and the manufacturer to warn women administered Taxotere of the risk of permanent hair loss. If you or a loved one were administered chemotherapy intravenously for breast cancer and suffered permanent hair loss, you may have a right to a cash award and medical expenses. If you suffered permanent hair loss after chemotherapy for breast cancer, call the law offices of Davis & Crump at the number below right now to find out if you are eligible for a cash award and medical expenses. Call the law offices of Davis & Crump right now. Our first consultation is free, and we don't get paid unless you get paid. Call now. Operators are standing by.
Are you Goodwill?
Yes, because when I donate or shop at Goodwill,
I am creating a job.
I am Goodwill, yeah.
That is a pretty good breakfast. You're not even eating.
Not hungry.
No? Why not? What's up?
Kath and I knew that Jenny'd been partying a bit. Found out she tried heroin.
Most people don't know what to say about drugs, but we do.
Visit us at drugfree.org.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com for Chef Judy's favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, step-by-step videos, and Suncoast Restaurant Guide. You'll find it all at mysuncoast.com/dining.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. And services.com. AND services.com.
Now, the official Suncoast weather with ABC7 meteorologist John Scalzi.
So we are watching air temperatures outside that are at 74 degrees. Not too bad, actually. We've had a little drier air kind of filtered in. We're in the low 70s with the dew point value. It's about as low as you get this time in August, right? And that's allowed the temperatures to cool slightly from where they were yesterday. Yesterday we started off the morning at about 80 degrees, so that's nice. North-northeast wind coming in at about 5. Temperatures across the region generally pretty comfortable for this time of year. 74 Arcadia, Wauchula Parish, Bradenton, 75 degrees Lakewood Ranch and Northport, 73 even in Mayaca City. And along the coastline you have temperatures that of course are a little bit warmer with upper 70s most everywhere. So Emily is gone. Off the state of Florida's coastline, moving out into the open waters of the Atlantic. It will be of no problem to anyone anywhere across the entire United States. It's got a slight chance of maybe some slight redevelopment, maybe back into a tropical depression or such. But even if it did, it's no problems to anybody but shipping interests. Across our region, chance to dry out. A little bit of drier air is filtered in behind Emily as she departed, and that has left us with some fairly quiet conditions this morning. We've had a shower or two around, but that's really about it. Down to the south, there's still a plume of moisture kind of following in Emily's footsteps, but locally only about a 10% chance of a morning shower. That's about it. Got one little teeny patch of drizzle down around Gasparilla. Otherwise, everything's pretty quiet. North Central Florida, pretty quiet. There's Emily departing, leaving behind it up to 6-inch rainfalls in some places. So our month to date, our season, rainy season to date, rainfall totals are all above average now. And the year-to-date total is really only about a ½ inch below where we normally would be. So that's pretty much average. As far as the thunderstorm outlook across the United States today, we have just a standard thunderstorm chance across the state of Florida. Nothing that would be severe today. And in fact, even locally, we're not going to see a whole lot. This drier air that is filtered in back behind departing Emily has allowed us to reduce our rain chances today to about 30%. Won't last all that long, though. High pressure builds in from the west. Emily continues to move away, and our winds start to shift to the southwest as we head into the afternoon. That returns humid air and brings us back to a decent rain chance tomorrow. So heavy rains at times are gone, and we'll have an onshore wind flow developing, which will return our moisture. As far as the rain showers go, yeah, you may get some heavy rain showers down in the very southern tip of the state, but that's really about it. Otherwise, we look for some pretty nice day today. Some sunshine around, maybe tomorrow a few more showers, and then as we head into the weekend, just basically a return to those afternoon showers and thunderstorms. Taking a look at the rainfall futurecast, the majority of the rain will fall over on the other coast today. We're left with a less than average rain chance. And the satellite view shows Emily departing and really nothing much else upstream. We had one little area of potentially developing clouds into some sort of a tropical system, but that fizzled out. Drier air and upper level winds just wouldn't allow that to happen. So things are quiet right now. Look for about a 30% chance of rain today, increasing to 50% tomorrow as humidity returns. And as we head into the weekend, we're right back to the same old average afternoon shower and thunderstorms late in the afternoon or early into the evening. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you so much, John. Taking a look at traffic in Manatee County, State Road 70 heading towards 301, seeing some more cars on the roadway. Other than that, not a whole lot going on. As we head into Sarasota County, there is some congestion heading southbound on 301 as it turns into 41. Also, Bee Ridge and Clark Road seeing some more slowdowns. And in South County, pretty quiet. Just a few more cars on the roadway on Business 41 as you're heading northbound through Venice. 5:49 this morning. In this hour's Health Smart, opioid abuse and addiction is an epidemic that continues to claim lives of thousands of people both here on the Suncoast and across the country.
And now we're getting new insight as just how bad this crisis really is. ABC's Kenneth Moten has the numbers.
The epidemic that started with our medicine cabinets, opioid painkillers, the focus of a new report. And the number of Americans affected is shocking. Researchers at the Department of Health and Human Services finding that nearly 2 in 5 American adults used narcotic pain drugs in the past year. But even more alarming, 11.5 million Americans may be misusing opioids, using the medicine at higher dosages than prescribed, or using someone else's pills, even purchasing them on the street. And these numbers may be just part of the picture, since they represent only those respondents who admit to taking and abusing these powerful yet widely available drugs. The prescription for our pain crisis? Reducing the number of pills in circulation, better monitoring, and for patients, knowing when they have a problem with dependence, abuse, or addiction, and talking to their doctors. With this Medical Minute, I'm ABC's Kenneth Moten.
Still ahead, we'll update the day's top local news headlines, and a picked-on Cubs fan is finally getting forgiveness from the team.
We'll tell you about the honor the team presented him with when we come back.
What to do when your heating or air conditioning needs service or, heaven forbid, replacement? Call Air Now today. We've been serving Sarasota and Manatee County since 1946. We offer $49.95 tune-ups, lease or finance options, and remember, service today or it's free.
Let me introduce you to the ultimate Florida window. Do you feel safer with this or this? You'll be proud too.
Going on now. For every 2 windows you buy, get 1 more free. Call today.
I'm calling in regards about my mother, and I'm here, and I just want to thank you because it saved my mother's life yesterday. And I'd like to know the names of the people that came in and saved her so I could call and thank them. And she's doing fine. It's a wonderful thing. Thank you.
When you fall and cannot get up, an accident can turn into a tragedy. But with Life Alert, one touch of a button can get you help fast. Life Alert saves a person from a catastrophe every 10 minutes.
Life Alert is a lifesaver. If it weren't for Life Alert, I wouldn't be sitting here today.
For a free Life Alert brochure, call 1-800-652-3012. That's 1-800-652-3012. Call now, 1-800-652-3012. For a free brochure, call 1-800-652-3012.
My name is Stephen Jaffe. The law firm's name is Farmer Jaffe. One of the beautiful things about Julius is he's always smiling, and it becomes infectious. The fact that Julius has a disability has absolutely nothing to do with the quality of work that he's done. Just a great person you want on your staff.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
Hurricane season is here, and so is the official Suncoast Hurricane Guide from ABC 7. This essential resource arms you with vital information you need to protect your family and property when severe weather threatens the Suncoast, including how to create your readiness plan and survival kit, shelter locations, what to do with pets, and important phone numbers. Visit mysuncoast.com and download the official Suncoast Hurricane Guide from ABC 7. Brought to you by Batteries Plus, the Florida Lottery, and Sarasota Glass and Mirror.
We answered the call of duty and left our homes to serve in far-off lands. Now, we answer another call, this time at home, in our own communities, to respond in times of chaos. To use our strength, our skills, and our experiences to bring hope amid devastation and destruction. Together, as a team of brothers and sisters, we're continuing our mission to make this country a little stronger and a little better each day. We are Team Rubicon.
Here's a shot from the waterfront down in Bradenton, up in Bradenton. We'll watch that shot develop through the morning as the sun begins to rise. 5:54 on your Tuesday morning.
Let's take a look at some of the top stories here on the Suncoast today.
Cleanup is underway in the wake of Tropical Storm Emily. Some roofs collapsed and also 600 people lost power.
Plus, a brother has been charged with manslaughter in the death of his sister in Sarasota. Police say a gun accidentally went off in the kitchen Sunday afternoon across the street from Sarasota Memorial Hospital.
And that $75 million diverging diamond project is now officially complete on University under I-75. It's the biggest project of its type in the country with a total of 12 lanes.
Finally this hour, the most famous Cubs fan of 2003 now has a 2016 World Series championship ring. Steve Bartman became a notorious figure in the Cubs' cursed history when he caught a foul ball during a playoff game that fans claim prevented the Cubs from winning the World Series that season. The Cubs organization acknowledged the burden that Bartman has endured since catching that fly ball. He was deeply moved by their gesture, saying he saw the ring not only as a symbol of a major achievement in sports, but as a reminder for how we should treat each other.
Boy, he got a hard time. He became reclusive.
Death threats.
You know, he reached out to try to get a ball. Maybe he shouldn't have let the player catch it. They would have won the game, perhaps. But a lot of fans instinctively reached out.
Yeah.
I saw a documentary. He really had to go underground for years.
Oh my goodness.
Very sad.
Well, they take their baseball seriously.
Yeah, they really do.
It was a life-changing moment for him.
Yeah,
no doubt.
Nice gesture, but it's a shame it had happened in the first place.
Right.
All right. More local news and John's forecast after this. Stay with us.